Right, so the speaker that was announced here was Jared Headley. He had a family emergency, so I'm stepping in on short notice, so apologies for that. Well, we've been here every year, I think, since this conference started, starting with TALF and now with Cisco since the last 4 years, and we've been telling a story, various incarnation of a story about automation and orchestration, about choosing the right platform for your orchestration, and about not boiling the ocean, but doing orchestration and automation incrementally and biting a little piece at a time. So this year, I thought we'd change pace a little bit and talk about a concrete use case. So, of course, SD-WAN is now a topic on everybody's mind. So, we talk about managed service providers selling an SD-WAN managed service and how automation is critical for success in that area. So, yeah, it says that 70% of service providers are making SD-WAN decisions. Everybody's at it at the moment, right? Because if you don't buy your SD-WAN service from your service provider, you're doing it yourself. Your enterprise is doing it yourself, right? And they're doing it to manage the increasing complexity in the network and to reduce the costs in the network. And regardless of which vendor you choose for your SD-WAN solution, the problems you're going to encounter are pretty much the same. The anatomy of your SD-WAN service is going to be pretty much, well, it's pretty similar from different vendors. It's going to consist of different edge routers, be they appliance-based or be they virtual network functions. And there's going to be a number of controllers. And if you're deploying this as an enterprise, that's absolutely fine, and that's all you need. But of course, if you're doing this as a service provider, then you are getting into a different set of problems, and all those problems are related to scale. So as a service provider, you're not, of course, just managing one of these SD-WAN networks. You're managing one for each of your enterprises. And therefore, there's going to be a number of instances of all these controllers, maybe hundreds, maybe thousands. So your first problem is going to be simply instantiating all these controllers. And as a managed service provider, you probably, at least eventually, want to do that in your own data center. You could, of course, start off in a public cloud, but you probably want to bring it into your own data center eventually, and then you have that instantiation problem. The other thing you want to do is probably, the world's going virtual, right? So your branches are going virtual, and your SD-WAN router is one of these virtual functions, and it's going to be deployed in your branch offices together with other VNFs, and those VNFs are from every vendor on the planet, right? They're all choosing different ones. You're going to have a mixed VNF and appliance environment. Some of your enterprises are going to have all their branches as appliances, and some of them are going to have virtual branches. But with this large number of controllers that you're managing on behalf of your managed enterprises, you can't, of course, use the controllers directly. You have to use APIs and aggregate the management of these. So you have to be able to use a single API across all the tenants and devices, managing templates and policies. So let's dig into a couple of these in a little bit more detail. So for example, if you're onboarding a new enterprise, you're probably doing that through some customer or operator portal. You onboard the enterprise, and your automation system creates the controller cluster. Obviously, in some cases, your controllers are multi-tenant, and you're creating tenants, and you may be only creating some controllers. But sooner or later, you're going to have to create a new set of controllers. You probably need to apply some certificates on these controllers and configure them with templates and policies. And this, this is a problem that's certainly in our experience, it has in the past taken like 8 hours to do, and we now do it in 5-10 minutes. So automation makes this a dramatic difference. Here's an even more complicated example. So here's the example of when you're virtualizing a branch. So you're replacing all your hardware appliances in your branch, including the SD-WAN router. You're placing that with their virtual counterparts. So instead of having 4, 5, 6 pieces of equipment in your enterprise branch office, you have one piece of hardware equipment, and then you have all these other things as virtual network functions. So if you think about a 3-4 year replacement cycle of all these hardware appliances, where you used to have regular truck rolls out to do maintenance on your appliances in your branch, you're now replacing that with software functions. So you only have one hardware appliance to do any maintenance of. And one hardware appliance is trivial, right? It can be plugged into the wall by anybody. You don't need to send a qualified engineer out. It's saving you enormous cost in doing this. So you drop ship the device to the enterprise branch office. Somebody plugs it into the wall, non-technical person. And then the device automatically sends a plug-and-play request to the automation system. The automation system configures this universal CPE. It then spins up and configures the VNFs, chain them together in a topology, and then possibly also applies day 2 configuration. Maybe you want to apply some firewall rules and various other configurations. And maybe 6 months later, you want to upgrade this branch office to add another VNF. Now it's just a software operation, right? It takes a minute or two to spin up another VNF, and you have a brand new service in a branch office. You can do this in bulk across all your branch offices. You can have this done overnight. And of course, we're doing this on our Cisco Network Services Orchestrator, which is the platform that we have been talking about for all these years, and it's our Cisco NSO is our flagship orchestration system. It is entirely model-driven. It's Yang models, both in the device layer and in the service layer. It provides end-to-end service lifecycle. You can create services, you can update services, you can delete services. It offers seamless integration with your OSS systems. It is loosely coupled and modular, and leverages open APIs. It does multi-domain, multi-layer, but multi-vendor, of course. We've been working with at least 50 vendors and 100 different device operating systems for a network-wide and management of policies across your network. So what you gain with Cisco NSO, It's, as I said, it's a strictly Yang model-driven solution. So we believe that having one modeling language across your automation system, it has immense benefits. Yang is a fantastic and very precise, concise language for describing your services, and with only one model mapping from your service model to your device model, you can render automatically render all your business logic. This means that you have a lot less maintenance to do because you only have one model mapping, you only have one description of your system. You never have multiple descriptions of your create and your delete and your modify scenarios, and therefore you're never going into this situation there where things get inconsistent with each other. It allows effortless redeployment, which means that you always got a way to repair your service if somebody has made configuration changes on the network devices themselves. We support a full DevOps model, so you can have your continuous development, continuous integration pipeline delivering new services on this platform continuously. And this allows you to do full automation, not only of your SD-WAN service, but of any service in your network. And as I said, you want to do this incrementally and iteratively in order to bite off scenario by scenario to get your network automated. It is robust. It's proven. We've delivered it into hundreds of operators now. It has the industry's broadest multi-vendor support. It's, as I said, we have 100 different device types from more than 50 vendors. So it's all about reducing the complexity of your making your networks programmable. So you're taking your time-consuming manual provision processes and reducing that, making them by our research 70% more operational efficient. You're going from days and weeks and maybe even months to implement new services to dramatically reducing your time to revenue. But another very important aspect of this is the visibility you get into your services. Like if you're looking at because of the models that we have, and because the way we can trace dependencies in our model, we can show you exactly which resources are used by each service, so that if you want to say replace a resource in your network because it's faulty, you can or because it requires a software upgrade, you can determine exactly which services are running on those resources, and you can redeploy them to avoid those resources and safely remove resources from a network without taking down your services. We have a very, very thriving digital ecosystem around this product. It is external. It's open for everybody. If you go to www.cisco.com/go/NSO-DevNet, and I would very much encourage you to do so. We have tons of public material there. We have 600 to 800 people who come and visit every week. We have lots of questions being asked and answered, and a very healthy dialogue with ourselves and between our users. We have tons of training material. We have tons of example code you can use. And now the latest we've done is we've made NSO free to download for evaluation use. So you can access it through that URL, and you can take NSO for a spin yourself and try it out. Unlike my Italian friend before here said that the Italians talk too long, I'm Scandinavian, I talk too short. I'm finished with 5 minutes to spare. And that's my gift to you.
Does anybody have any questions for? Thank you.
Thank you.